From the ranch to the rodeo, this is The Short Go.
Hey guys, Jesse Horton here with Cowboys of the Cross. One of the fundamental things that you learn as a bull rider is that you have to charge to the front. You have to stay out over the front end, because if you sit down on your pockets and let yourself get stretched out to the end of your arm, that bull's going to have his way with you pretty quickly. You're going to get slammed on the ground, and I mean hard. Unfortunately, in my career, I had a tendency when a bull was spinning and had a nice rhythm, I'd kind of sit down and relax, and it cost me a lot of 7.5 second rides, unfortunately. The people of Israel had the same kind of problem. They knew what they were supposed to do, and they didn't do it, and because they didn't do it, they suffered the consequences. They got slammed. Looking in Judges chapter 2, beginning at verse 14, the context of this is that Israel was supposed to remove all the idols and the idolaters from the promised land that God was giving them, and they did not do so. And here's what happens as a result. They began to worship false gods. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he gave them over to plunderers who plundered them. And he sold them into the hand of their surrounding enemies, so that they could no longer withstand their enemies. Whenever they marched out, the hand of the Lord was against them for harm, as the Lord had warned, and as the Lord had sworn to them, and they were in terrible distress. What you see happening with Israel during this period of the Judges is God would send them a judge because their groanings were so loud, and he felt sorry for them. So he would send them a judge. The judge would deliver them from the plunderers that God had given them over to. But as quick as the judge had died, Israel went back to its same old practices. They went back to worshiping idols. They went back to sitting on their pockets and getting slammed. But actually, that getting slammed part is God's grace. You know, when you get slammed by a bull, when you get slammed by a bronc, it doesn't feel good. And it makes you want to change what you're doing. It makes you want to seek to return to those fundamental things that you know are right and are true and will produce success. In our lives as Christians, there are things that we know we should be doing. They are right, they are true, and they will produce success. One of those things is the abandonment of idols. Many times we don't even realize what our idols are. Let me tell you what an idol is. An idol is anything that takes away from the worship of Jesus Christ. Anything that puts Jesus on the sidelines for even a moment is an idol. And we need to eradicate these idols from our lives. Else, we're going to be just like I was many, many times, sitting on my pockets and on the end of my arm, and that bull throws his hip under me at 7.5 seconds and slams me to the ground. It was a good reminder, man, I got to get back to the basics. I got to get back to charging to the front. And I hope whenever you feel the hand of the Lord being against you, whenever things aren't going well consistently for you, and you just feel like your prayers are reaching a ceiling and never getting to heaven, I hope that will be the impetus for you to look into your own life and say, God, what are the fundamental things that I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not, that causes you to be against me at this stage in my life? I pray that we would all seek to identify and eradicate the idols from our lives so that we can get back to those fundamental things that produce success in our walk with God. I love you, and I hope this has been encouraging for you.